and they judge other people like us, like me, if I complain or reveal some bad parts of Mexico, Queretaro, many other places, then you are the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? You don't love Mexico. Why do you even live here? Right? You should leave. Right?
So,
you cannot talk about any truth. I'm talking about the fact, the truth.
So many people, like I said, they're so quick to be offended that they don't even
answer
the question. Right?
Yeah.
They feel offended that you're disrespecting our city.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of it's a question. It's a question about safety.
Yeah.
Right? And then when she put instead of answering the question, they kind of come back with like, oh, well, here's some missing people in Queretaro. Hey, everybody, and
Hi.
Welcome back to our channel. And again, for those who don't remember, I'm Roddy.
I'm Landy.
And in our channel, we discuss kind of all things moving to Mexico and life as a family in Mexico and what that's like and all the good and bad about it. Right? So today, as our title suggested, we are here to save all of Mexico.
Yeah, some people think they are saving Mexico.
Right, and again, like Nandy said, obviously we hope you understand that the title is more ironic than anything, or mainly because it comes from a lot of comments we get, not even so much as comments, but even things we see on different forums, and which is you tend to see a lot of foreigners who move to Mexico or are considering moving to Mexico, and they think they speak for Mexico, right, including all the Mexicans, about what you should and shouldn't do. Like they are the great white hope that will save Mexico from all the bad foreigners, which happens to include them, who are also foreigners living here.
Right.
And only they know the right way to live and the right way to interact with Mexicans and people who live in Mexico. They have all the answers.
Right. And they judge other people like us, like me, if I complain or reveal some bad parts of Mexico, Queretaro, many other places, then you are the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? You don't love Mexico. Why do you even live here? Right? You should leave. Right?
So,
you cannot talk about any truth. I'm talking about the fact, the truth. But in their words, you are bashing Mexico.
Yeah. Right. And so again, I think we want to make that very clear.
Yeah.
Right. Again, we do really enjoy our time here. We do love Mexico and everything about it. But as Landy mentioned, there are anywhere you live.
Yeah.
There are negatives. Yeah. And so people feel that if you reveal a negative about a place, you hate it.
You hate it. You dislike it. You disrespect it.
Yeah. And of course, that's not true. Anybody who says they love 100% about everything where they live, let me tell you right now, they're lying.
Like, do you love your parents? Right? Everybody loves their parents. Yep. Most people do. But do you also bitch about your parents? Most people do. Is that equal to you don't love your parents?
You hate them?
You hate them. Yeah, you disrespect them. You hate them so much because you say something bad about them.
Right. At the end of the day, again, there is still love for the place that we live. And again, we love Mexico. Was there a time where we went back to Houston and we went and lived there or decided to try to go back? And again, this is what I've told people because we had a few comments and even just other people we've met at functions. It's like, we had the idea to go back to Houston, right? And so again, when we left, we just kind of made some videos about again how we feel. Right? Again, that's the whole thing about when any YouTuber or anybody who puts social media out there and they do vlogs, it's all about how they kind of feel in the moment. Right? I think sometimes people take that too personal. As any person lives, they kind of progress in thought and what they do, right? And their ideas. So and like we said, just because there's some negative things about a place doesn't mean you dislike it. So we went to Houston, and again, after living there for months, we decided, and I think we both realized how much we really missed Mexico. That's not a bad thing. This is how we felt. We made a decision, right? We lived through it, and then we lived with the consequences, and we decided to come back.
Yeah, you always live for the moments. What's your top needs?
Right.
We want to go back to some business. That's our top needs.
Right.
Do some investment. Now, investment is done. Our project is done. I don't feel like to live there anymore. I want to travel more in Mexico.
Yeah.
I have a house here anyway. I move back. So what's their problem?
Yeah.
and most people feel like, oh, at the beginning you love the place, then you should love the place forever. Like if they travel in Mexico for 1 month, they feel, oh, I really want to settle down here. Everything's so good. Or in certain area. Then after living there for 6 months or 1 year, and you feel, hey, I don't find that this place is good for me. I found so many insights of it.
Right. It's not what I thought it was, or it's different from when I came and traveled here. And I think sometimes people also get those two things mixed up, right? Traveling and visiting a place is not living there, right?
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, I went to city X or whatever, pick a city, right? And I visited and I had so much fun there. The people were so friendly and I went out every night. It was great. I would love to live there. 1 year later, they moved down there. They lived there for a year.
It's not for me.
Right. The ins and outs of everyday living are going to be very different from traveling, right? And so I think sometimes people may get that mixed up, right?
Right. It's like, for another example, when we moved to Queretaro, we lived in the Centro for nearly 10 months. But at the beginning, everything's good. We explored the Centro, so many things to do, so many restaurants, museums. And then we find by day in, day out living, and we find out so many issues with the area and the noise, the house, the old house. Right. And some neighbors, just lots of things going on. And you just never realize that at the beginning. Right. It's called a time tells the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
So and we do see, like I said, we do see these types of issues. Whether it's on our comments or even just online, it's just constant. Now again, I think sometimes if you're foreigners trying to speak for how to live in Mexico and how to interact with people, again, you can have your opinion, sure, but I don't think you have the right to tell people how to live and that your way is the correct way. I think that's becoming an issue just in society. If you just look online and all this kind of virtue signaling, and wokeism, whatever you want to call it, that again, you have your opinion. Cool, your opinion is your opinion, right?
Yeah.
But your opinion is not a fact.
Yeah.
Right. And again, you shouldn't try to, I don't want to say force your opinion upon someone, but strongly impose your opinion on somebody that this is the correct way to do it here in Mexico. This is how you live. This is how you interact with people. And if you don't, you are the evil foreigner. You are the person who makes Mexico bad. Oh.
Yeah, like something we dislike in Mexico, sure, we have some things we don't like here. Right, that's very normal. Like, who likes the scorpion in the house, in the yard every day? But that is the issue, right? But who likes the dryness, make my nose bloody? Right. That is the issue. Right. But who can take the slow motion of the work style and never be on time? I love it. Nobody would say, I love it. You just take it.
Right.
But still, people gonna say, oh, maybe something, it's not really for me. I dislike it. But that's very normal.
Right.
Oh, there's a...
and there are solutions to all these problems.
Right, like the other day we posted the shots. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's the fact in the Park 2000 here. All the playground broke.
Yeah,
right.
It's a fact.
Right,
it's a fact.
It's the fact.
Like you go to 80%, 90% of playgrounds here in Mexico, just as one example, and you're going to see a lot of broken parts. Because the plastic is broken, they're old, ropes broken, chains missing. But so if you say that, you hate Mexico.
Yeah, you're bashing Mexico. Why you talk about it? Yeah, but that's the truth. People see it.
Yeah, again, there's so much we love about it. We wish things like this could be fixed. We understand it's a bigger problem. That's beyond us. But again, it's just a simple fact of life.
But let's put it this way: if our Mexican neighbors or people we know talk bad about this, reveal the fact, are those foreigners gonna say, "Hey, you're bashing your country"?
Yeah, you should love Mexico. You're a Mexican. You should love Mexico.
Yeah.
Don't say one thing bad about Mexico.
Everybody complains.
Right.
Our neighbor also complains things.
Oh, sure.
And sure, you get a conversation with them.
Right.
The government, this, that, the issue,
the danger,
the HOA.
Yeah.
Complain all the time.
We probably have, I would say, at least 3 of the neighbors that we talk to.
Right.
Mexico City. And what do they all say? Oh, Mexico City is very dangerous, especially to have young kids in the family.
Right.
So they hate Mexico because they give us their opinion about how they feel and about where they grew up in Mexico City. Oh, you hate Mexico. Now they must hate Mexico City. They must hate Mexico.
Right, they talk about the province.
Because they reveal issues that they had and experienced growing up in Mexico City.
Right. And they don't like it, so they move to Querétaro.
Right.
People don't like Querétaro anymore. Maybe they wanted some bigger city. They moved to Mexico City, Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Right. Mérida is too hot. Oh, after 3 years, I'm moving to Querétaro. Yay. Yeah, it's too hot. You hate Mérida? Well, no, I think at the beginning they love it. But just after time by time, they couldn't take the humidity and heat anymore.
Right. Well, I don't know what else we could say about that. I think that's kind of I think people kind of got the idea of what we're trying to say.
Yeah, I think
it's. Go ahead.
I think another thing was the other day, because we plan to go back to Morelia for another weekend trip. So I only went to the Morelia expat group. It's a small group, less than 250 people. So, and I was just viewing, and I saw some news from Morelia, some daily news, and I was just curious. I clicked to the page. Then one news really attracted my eyes is 42 girls and women disappeared in Morelia. Okay, and that was a whole article in Spanish. So I used English or Chinese to translate it. And then now, okay, in the malaria area, it's this year, 42. And one part really catch my eyes. They really talk about which area people got disappeared. As me, a woman has a young kid travel here, want to take a walk by ourselves in the town. Yeah, I'm concerned in the safety.
Yeah.
So I checked which area. I used the Google Map. Yeah, I got it. Some are a little bit outside of Molilla. Sure, we drove there before. Some areas are kind of
sketchy, a little bit poor,
you're
right?
not so sure about it. You don't want to really go there to take a walk. But then there's two little colonias really next to the Chapultepec Park. That's literally in the town. That shocked my eyes. I said, what? Girls got to disappear there? And mostly are younger girls. Right? But that means kids in the town. That's why I posted in the group. So I'm just curious about the safety, how people really feel the safety there. And I shared a post. This is what I read. It's something going on in town. And I emphasized that in my post. And then people started to feel very offended. Like, hey, this is everywhere in Mexico. That one older lady replied. Yeah. And I was like, everywhere? I don't think it's everywhere. Sure, there's a lot of things going on. Sure. Really everywhere, like a safe, very safe city like Puerto Vallarta or Mérida, Querétaro, like really something everywhere. And then she said, yeah, that's just what I see. Like I don't know what, I forgot what she said. Then another man, maybe he saw my reply, and then he said, here's an article about news. The woman also disappeared in Querétaro this year. It didn't say which location, but Querétaro, the city. And I read it and said, oh, okay, now I got it. Maybe I never read those news. Sure. We don't read the Mexican news every day, and also not in the Querétaro expat group. Right. Nobody shares those things every day. I said, oh, okay, thank you for sharing. Now I got it. But then I have another question, like this started making me thinking, because Querétaro is pretty safe. It's supposed to be the top 5 or top 3, one of the safest city in Mexico. Make me concerned a little bit too. And I asked him, I said, yeah, is that every girl or woman, especially teenagers, they disappear, or they just kidnapped, or they just walk away from home?
Like run away.
Yeah, run away. Like, because Ra told me in the US, we also saw those kids or teenagers disappeared. You see those posts in Walmart. Right. In some cities. Right.
And they tend to be, a lot of times they tend to be runaways.
That's why it's my concern. So I answered this man, and then he got I can tell just from his reply, he said, oh, now you start asking this question.
Yeah. So, a couple of things I take from that story is, I know you kind of told me about it, and you got multiple replies from multiple people. Mm-hmm. Right? I think that maybe 1 or 2 were helpful. Yeah, 1 or 2 are pretty good. Right. They're women, and I explained I'm a woman, middle-aged woman. I have a very little kids, right? That safety is one of my concerns, especially in the town. And then they shared their life experience with me by living there. One lady is pretty nice. She said, yeah, I've been living there for many years. For some streets, like after 6th or 7th streets, I don't go there by myself. I don't go there. Like, hey, that's just very informative information. Right. You get information, and then you start to question. That's how things work. That's how the mind works. So again, the issue with some people is, again, why do they so offended about being questioned? Again, that they feel like you talk about the city that they live in, you're talking about them personally. Yeah, like you did a stupid choice. Right. People are so sensitive. Again, I think they kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They kind of, now the word is escaping me right now. But again, they kind of take on the personality of the city, and they feel that, again, you talk bad about the city, again, and not even talk bad, just ask questions. Yeah, and I did say, and then they become offended about that. Like, we traveled there. People are attacking me. Right, and I did put it there. We traveled there once, and I would like to go back to explore more, right? And then nobody really directly answered my question. Again. So I posted another question. I said, hey, by the way, so far nobody directly answered my question. Is that, do you feel safe living in Morelia? Yeah. And then people started answering my question. But they didn't directly answer me for a few of them. And they said, yeah, because there are so many posts down the way, you can just search. Hey, but why did you tell me at the first place? Yeah. Now you tell me that. Yeah. Because I emphasized my question. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Then another lady also feel like, something like we don't want Morelia to be more flooded, be an expat hub. Yeah.
Yeah, from your little group, 250 people, it's an expat
And
couple.
somebody asking about visiting, not living.
Yeah, and I never said I want to move there. And I told him I have a home in Mexico. I don't have to tell who I am, where I live.
Right?
I have a home. I just go there to visit. I never said I consider to move there anyway.
And again, I think
Oh, gosh.
another kind of silly thing about people again taking so much offense to anything again is that we don't want expats moving here. We don't want this to become flooded. Well, guess what? You are the beginning of the flood.
Yeah,
you
you-
are an expat who lives in a new country. So
Yeah.
So even in 5-10 years, if you still live there and now it happens to become flooded, guess what? You were the beginning of the flood.
Yeah, you were part of the water, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just because you're the beginning of the water, oh, I'm better than everybody else because I was here first.
Yeah.
No, you're still part of the issue that you seem to be concerned about.
And I even feel some woman posted to me kind of a little bit in the offensive way, defensive way. They feel like I want to give you the impression people here are not nice. Don't move here.
Don't move here.
Like from me, one woman have one post in the group means thousands and thousands people gonna move there.
I'm gonna move there. Right. Again, I think people just are and again, people always attribute it to like, oh, it's the younger generation that they're so sensitive. Well, I don't know if it's trickling up because again, a lot of these people tend to be older people.
Older, yeah.
Who become so sensitive.
Yeah.
Again, why can't nobody can ask anything, nobody can question anything, nobody can slightly I dare say offend anybody, but of course a lot of times it's not even offending and people just take it as offensive, but it's really just a question or just again, people are just oversensitive.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
They get a little paper
yeah.
cut and have to go to the doctor.
Yes, some people are. I'm not saying all the people live in Morelia or in Queretaro.
Yeah.
All the people. Some people are. Yeah,
and
can
again,
be,
and I think that's a good point, right? I think right now we're kind of focusing obviously on the negative, right? But again, I would say maybe it's the other one post where I think actually more people gave you negative comments or didn't even answer the question. Most people who give us comments, most people we see in the forums are very helpful, are very good. They don't have that. But again, it's just always those. And if it were just like one or two or few, then it may not be an issue. But it does tend to seem to be a lot, especially I guess when you go to bigger cities like Querétaro. Again, vast majority of people who give information on forums are great, give good information. And again, and you see it in the Playa del Carmen one, you see it in the Mexico City one. Again, most people give, but there's always just tens, hundreds of people who just give stupid comments that don't have any relevance to the post. Like this is a question, and they give some smart ass answer. Like it's like I guess it's the equivalent of people who just like to hear themselves talk. People just like to they just make comments just to make comments to make themselves feel better, but their comment makes no real value or brings no real value to the question that's being asked. People just like to type things just to be to be assholes.
Maybe they're just bored. There's not much things to do. In the evening, like now something I can attack.
Yeah, there's like a tag. Let me see if I can get a response. I'm bored. Let me see if I can get a response.
Yeah, right? Let's start some fight.
Yeah, let's see. I have nothing better to do.
Yeah, it's fun. It's entertaining.
Yeah, for them.
Yeah, for them.
Yeah, and again, and you hear this with a lot of content creators and stuff, or YouTubers, whatever you want to call them. Where people do get those comments, and again, for the most part, it doesn't really matter. I mean, and again, I know I just said it doesn't really matter. And people are gonna, well, you're making a video, so it must matter. It's more about commenting about the stupidity of it rather than anything. I mean, am I losing sleep over it? No. Right? And do I see the comments? Sure, we see the comments. Yeah. But again, I'm not like
I'm not a switch off the comments.
This person hates me. I don't want to go to sleep.
Right. And making YouTube video, then we try to always tell the truth, reveal some real things.
And again, to tell the truth as we see it. Right. And again,
not making a story out of it.
Right. I mean, we see things, we live things, we experience it, we report it as we live it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's I hope people who follow us and people who watch our videos, I hope they understand and that's how they take it. Again, we don't speak for the absolute. We don't speak in absolutes. For the most part, we definitely don't speak on. We are the authority on Mexico.
No,
because we're not.
We never.
Right?
Yeah.
And what we speak in is what we live.
Right? And we don't represent anything. We're just living here. Who knows how long we're going to live here? We don't know. Yeah, like most people don't know.
Don't say that because the people are going to get angry. Why are you thinking about leaving Mexico already?
Yeah, we just don't know, right? That's life. Right. They take you everywhere. You follow your heart. Right. You just don't know. That's the truth.
It's just like even when we talked about moving here. When we moved here, we talked about moving other places, Asia, mainly Asia, right? Or in different parts, or even different parts of South America. And,
explore the world.
Explore the world, right? We're still relatively young and healthy. We have the ability to, thanks to what we do for guess, work, whatever if you want to call it that, or for our income. And again, it affords us that opportunity. And so I think if most people had that opportunity, they would take it, right? I think some, and I don't know, I don't want to speak too much on how other people feel, but again, maybe other people feel upset because again, maybe if they make a move to a foreign country, once they make that move, maybe that's all they can afford. Like, that's it. I move here, I'm kind of done. It's, like I don't have the ability or the luxury of being able to try to move different places because it is expensive to move to.
It's expensive.
Right?
And then some people also just feel you leave one country means you betray the country. Like even can come to the city in Mexico. Oh, you leave Queretaro, now you move to Morelia.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mexico City. Cancun,
oh, now you betrayed. Now you don't like Queretaro anymore. Yeah. No, people want to explore different places.
Or the other one we love, like for example, let's say you move to a beach like Playa del Carmen or Cancun or Tulum.
Yeah.
Oh, now you left the real Mexico.
Yeah.
For a beach town, which is not the real Mexico.
Now you go to the bubble.
Yeah. That's what people always talk about. It's another favorite one of ours. The real Mexico.
Right.
We even did the video about that. Like, what does that even mean? Everything is the real Mexico.
People like to complain those things. Even if we leave this neighborhood, people go, oh, now you live here.
You think you're better than Zaki.
You don't like it here anymore. Now you move to Juliquilla,
you talk so much good about it. Now you trashed it.
Right. You bashed it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you want to say. People move around. People like us, we reveal the truth. I love the truth. I like to share the fact, what we see, what we share, we feel, right? We share it to help people who want to move here, travel here.
What about expat immigrant?
That can be another topic.
Okay. Yeah. Expat or immigrant?
Yeah, that's
what do you think?
We keep it for another topic.
For another episode. Well, so anything else?
I think it's good for now.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to our rant. We see silly things online. I think it's kind of funny. I think it's it's good to reveal what people think and how people react, and again for a very minority few, how some people can be so petty about silly things. So thanks. If you have any questions, comments, I think there'll be a few comments about this video. I have a feeling. We'll talk to you soon. All right, and have a good one.
See ya.